Hello everyone and welcome back to Ave Mujica. This is episode 10. So last time we had Uika. Finally we're getting some more, learning more about her, and she, the more we learn about her, the more we realize everyone here is really broken and Uika is no exception. She kind of snapped in the last episode, which is really interesting. And I mean, they're all once again falling apart a little bit. The Cry Chick, Ave Mujica tug of war with a little bit of MyGo in there is stressful. So we're gonna jump right into it. I'm not gonna waste too much time on this intro. Make sure to support the video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And you can go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. If you like this series, if you like it, and you want to watch the full episode, make sure to go to my Patreon account, because then you can watch the whole episode with me. You have to sync it up with your own footage, but you get the whole reaction. It's very worth it. Go check it out, and you get all the other stuff on this channel and my Jent Watches One Piece channel. So let's jump into Ave Mujica episode 10. Oh my god, a more feminine waistline. Oh my god. And there's no OP today. Jesus, man. Oh, how dark. So robotic. Trying to get the part right. It's really confusing to everyone else because they don't see the balcony that she fell off of. Aww. Aww. Cute. Good job. Oh my god, no! I mean, this is an important conversation. I mean, maybe you're right, I don't know. Maybe you should leave them alone for now. I love this music. Saki's back to being cold again. But that's because everything's fucking falling apart again. Oh. I think Uika's got like abandonment issues. Oh man. Yeah, she's absolutely got abandonment issues. Young wheat. And it's so complicated. Hey. Don't look at her personal things. Oh! Oh my god. Oh, poor Uika. I mean, I think Yamu's trying to help you, Uika. She's just very blunt. Yeah. Oh. And Uika's desperate, so she's gonna follow along. The animation is so expressive, I love it. You're locked in now. Hello. I'm dragging this girl in. We don't know that she's gone for good. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of her plan. She does run away from stuff a lot. I mean, Yamu's being very honest. It's like she's doing it in a very harsh way. But she's being so honest. Oh, I feel really bad for Uika. You know what? I think I resonate with Uika the most out of all these characters. And I'll talk about it in discussion. Hopefully. I'm writing it down. Yeah. The "will you give me the rest of your lives" line. It's kind of nice how much she looks at Tomari's affirmations. Come on, Saki, work through your emotions, please. She's writing the song? Oh. Yes, yes. Mutsumi. She's very specifically going Mutsumi. Okay. Maybe this is the right move. Oh. They're all on board except Mutsumi's dead still. Oh my gosh, I mean, organizing a concert? Yeah, you can play without a chandelier. Saki, it's okay. I'm kind of worried about how fast she's moving through this. Oh. Oh, I'm scared. Are you gonna break Uika here somehow? Oh shit. Oh my god. These characters are so insane. You just have to find Mutsumi down at the bottom of that pit, I think. Oh no, they all died already. This is a cool revival show thing. Like you wake them up again. I mean, these are a cool idea, these plays. But I feel like they would be the most boring part of the show. Interesting, that's similar to the conversation they had backstage, for real. We're gonna get a full song? Oh, it's a beautiful song. Yeah, this is a song. I like the acoustic guitar. I feel like you don't often have acoustic guitar in Bang Dream. That much. Oh, this is beautiful. There we go. There's the Ave Mujica twist. And the English. I noticed the English written in the lyrics. Oh my god, her voice! Oh, this is a fucking great song. Like, this is such a great song. It might go on my Spotify playlist. Oh, can you get Mutsumi back? Oh, did you just jump off? You're gonna get her. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh. That's so cute. Is she actually playing now? She's actually playing. It's Mutsumi. She's back. And yeah, you're turning up the guitar, turning down the backing track. That sound mixer then is the MVP of this performance. That was fucking great. How is everyone not screaming at that? That's one of my favorite songs in both shows, genuinely. Sounds like this next one's gonna be more traditional Ave Mujica. Yeah. I mean, this is a sick song as well. Oh, Uika's so cool. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is more like classic Mujica, like what I think of when I think of them. Still great. The movements are great. Cool. Ooh. Nice switch up. Oh, great keyboard. Nyamu's been nailing the drums the whole time. I love her movements while playing guitar. So active. Cool. Oh, that's so dope. I love that. All the other instruments stopping. I love these kinds of breakdowns in songs. Reminds me of Royal Blood. Royal Blood's such a good band. Oh yeah. Whoa, you're putting credits over this? This is cool. I love this breakdown. That was beautiful. That was the best part of the song. So cool, man. Oh yeah. Wonderful. Oh, and she's in such a good mood. And Saki, I don't know what Saki's feeling. Oh, come and live with me again. Is that a car waiting for her? Is that... Oh no. Oh. Huh? What the fuck? What is this image? What am I looking at? Okay, all right. I need to see the next few episodes so I can have opinions on this, because okay, so it seems that, like, that ending, I need to figure out what the fuck's going on, because he shows up and then he's like, Hatsune, like, Hatsune, you can, what did he say? You can go home or whatever? Yeah, Hatsune, go back home. So, and then, like, what is Uika's name? Hatsune? As far as I know, her name that we know is, like, Uika Misumi or something like that. I only ever call her Uika, so I don't really know what her other name is. But Hatsune. So are we gonna learn more about her and find out something sad or horrible related to Sakiko's family? I don't know. I really don't know. So, like, with that storyline, that you have seen the extent of how much I'm going to comment on that in this discussion, because I don't have the theories right now. I'm just going to see how the show presents it to me, you know, because I don't even want to really read theories about what this is yet. I just want to see how the show plays out, how it all happens. But I really loved this episode, and I think I loved this episode. I mean, I don't know what other people think about this episode right now, right? And I know, you know, people like will have strong opinions about the show no matter what, right? But I feel I really, really liked this episode for the same reason that I feel like other people could really dislike this episode, but it's something that I love about it. And that is the fact that this episode was like the revival of Ave Mujica, but it was not handled in the way you'd expect a revival episode of the band to be handled, which I think is really interesting. I mean, you compare it to It's MyGo episode 10, right? The same episode, right? Episode 10, which is like the best episode of the show, most people agree, right? Is an incredible fucking episode. And that's the band revival of MyGo, where they finally like get back together, and it's this incredible cathartic moment of everyone just, you know, bawling their eyes out, and like this, it's an incredible performance as they're all standing in a circle and playing, and it's like, that's an amazing moment, right? This series did not try to replicate that, and I really, really appreciate that, because like, it's a very different show. The Ave Mujica and MyGo are very different feeling shows, and I don't think it would have necessarily fit here. Whereas it kind of, you know, they had some of that emotion back with the Cry Chick reunion instead, you know. Not to the same extent, but it was still like an emotional thing back in episode 7, I think. So I like that they didn't go for that, because I think it's a way better choice writing wise to do that. For one, so that people aren't going, you know, oh, well, MyGo had, you know, this really emotional, and the emotions of episode 10 in Ave Mujica didn't hit the same levels or whatever, right? And people are going to do that anyway. People are going to compare. That I think it's really dumb to compare, especially I think when you're comparing a show to itself in the past. Like, I've always had a problem with that, where it's like, some people will be like, when a new season of something comes out, they'll go like, oh, well, it's not as good as season 2, it's better than season 3, it's worse than season 1. Like, they'll like constantly be like, every time anything happens, they're like, oh, this emotional moment was okay, but it's nothing compared to this emotional moment back then, or this funny episode was really funny, but it wasn't as funny as this episode that they've done in the past. And like, I don't like to think of media like that. I like to think of media, when we're watching a show, it's one thing, you know? Obviously, there's gonna be fluctuations in quality and in ways that you can enjoy different sections of the show and stuff. But I think it hurts the art as a whole when you break it into pieces like that. Obviously, it's inherently broken into pieces because it's a TV show. It's broken into episodes. It's broken into acts within the episodes. It's broken into seasons. It's broken into whatever arcs. But like, we can choose as viewers to see it as a piece. Now, if there are things that particularly stand out to me as like, this is exceptionally good or this is exceptionally poor, then sometimes I like to, you know, take that away. Or if there are like extenuating circumstances. For example, Community is a show that I really, really love. Season 4 of Community, I take that out when I'm thinking about it, because that was like, Dan Harmon was fired off of the show after season 3, so he wasn't a part of season 4, but then they brought him back for seasons 5 and 6. And I didn't like season 4. But the show is one of my favorite shows ever. So seasons 1 to 3 and 5 and 6, to me, that's all like one big show. And I don't like say, well, season 5 didn't reach the highs of season 4, season 3 or season 2 or whatever. Like, I don't do any of that. For me, 1 to 6, not including 4, is like one big chunk of, I love this show. So in the same way, with this show, I don't want to compare. I don't want to say like, oh, this is like this in MyGo, and this is better than this, and this is better than this, because I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps anyone, and it's not really good media analysis in my opinion. But what this show did was, it had these characters who are all bags of unresolved trauma. They all are sort of settling at this point, which I think is very interesting, where it's like it feels like they're coming back to Ave Mujica, not because Ave Mujica is special, but because there is nothing else. And I think that's a really interesting way to approach this, because like it's uneasy for us as viewers, I think, where it's like we're watching this performance, which frankly, those performances, I thought they were fantastic, especially that first one, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But they weren't emotion filled. These are just talented musicians playing a song really well. And we kind of had like the only person who had somewhat of like emotional catharsis, like who seemed to like actually go through like a proper emotional arc in this episode was Mutsumi and Mortis. Like they kind of had something where it's like Mortis had the guilt of losing Mutsumi, and then, you know, works through it, and then through Ave Mujica, Mortis jumps off searching for Mutsumi, finds her, they have a moment together, and then Mutsumi comes out and plays, right? So they have a full moment. Everyone else is kind of in a weird space, which I think is really, really engaging. I think that's a really interesting choice for this. And it makes the thing, like, ending this episode feeling unresolved is really interesting to me, because it was also a lot of fun and interesting. You know, it doesn't feel unresolved to me in an unsatisfying way. It feels unresolved to me in a I can't wait to see if this gets filled in way. Not even I can't wait to see this puzzle filled in, but I can't wait to see if this puzzle gets filled in, which is interesting to me as well. Like, by the end of this series, I don't need all the answers. I don't need to see, if I get all of the answers, amazing, great, that's awesome. But I don't need them, really, genuinely. I think what I want is for them to tell a story. And I want to see the kind of story that this writer comes up with, because this writer of these series has come up with things I never would have come up with in a million years. And I think it's so, like, I couldn't write this series. A lot of music anime that I see out there, I think, like, I really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. I also think if I was given enough time, I bet I could write this. I bet eventually I could write something very similar to this if I was given enough time and experience or whatever. But then there's shows like this and MyGo, where I go, these are very special. This is a very special show, and it's got such a unique footprint on it that I wouldn't be able to replicate as hard as I tried. And so I think that's what's so cool about this series. Now, oh man, I need to do this discussion quickly because it's getting late. Uika, I wanted to talk about Uika because other than the end where it seems like there might be so much more deeper going on with Uika, and I don't speak for her character in the future, but from what I saw in this episode, I was watching Uika in this episode and went, this is the character I relate to the most, I think. And the reason for that is it feels like she is very emotional and very dependent, like very codependent, I guess, on others, especially on Saki, but also hates making waves. And I talked about this before, where like there was big arguments going on and she was not choosing sides. And I was saying, like, if she chose sides, then maybe they would make progress, maybe something would happen, but she wouldn't choose sides. And now I'm kind of seeing again where it's like Ave Mujica fell apart and she is trying to convince Saki to bring Ave Mujica back together, but she's doing it in such a meek way because she also doesn't want to risk her friendship with Saki, and she doesn't want to be hated, and she doesn't want to come off as a villain. and she has all of this stuff, while Nyamu is like, look, and this is what's really interesting about Nyamu. She's like, look, I want Ave Mujica back together, and there's shit going on, and Saki, frankly, you're not the easiest person to converse with, so I'm just going to straight up come over to your house and tell you exactly what I fucking feel. Like, exactly. And you're just gonna sit here and listen, and then you make your decision. And that's what Nyamu does, you know? She's like, look, I'm not gonna pretend, like, I'm not gonna kiss your ass, I'm not gonna act like, you know, we're best friends or anything. All I'm saying is, I need this band because of my own personal stuff going on, and others need this band, and you said we should dedicate our lives to it, and we did, and you didn't. You ran away from it. So, like, what now? You know, are you gonna keep that promise? Are you going to bring us all back into this? And I think that's interesting, because Nyamu, in those scenes, I think she's wrong in the way that she's talking to Saki, but she might be right in the way that might be the only way shit gets done in this band. And that's a really difficult line to comment on. Line as in, not line of dialogue, but line in the sand. It's a very difficult thing to comment on, because sometimes you can do something that's the wrong thing to do, but it's still somehow right in the situation because of all of the extenuating factors. So, like, I don't know what's right or wrong in that situation, but Nyamu's method seems to have kind of maybe worked, because she was being forceful. Like, I don't think, when Uika's writing lyrics on her phone, I don't think it's right that Nyamu takes her phone and sends the message and goes, oops, I sent the message. I think she's wrong for that. I think that's a bad thing to do. But she knows that Uika wants to get this band back together more than anything. And she knows the person holding Uika back from that is herself. And the person who might be able to get Saki back into this is Uika. And the person who needs all of this to happen is Nyamu. And the person who will only be able to work through their trauma with Ave Mujica is Mutsumi. So it's like, all of these people, and I mean, I don't know where Umiri fits into the equation there, but all of these people, like, need something to happen. And so Nyamu is like, look, no one else is gonna fucking do anything. We're in a stalemate. I need to do something. And she just does it. She sends the message from Uika's phone. She grabs Uika by the arm and drags her, like, I was praising Anon for doing the same sorts of stuff, and Soyo as well for doing the same sorts of stuff, where they're just, like, very forceful about it. And yeah, in the same way, you know, drags her all the way across town to Saki's house and doesn't let her go. But that bit where Uika's standing there and she just, like, looks at Saki when Nyamu leaves and she just goes, please don't hate me, and then leaves. I related to that line so hard, because sometimes I have been, like, I've wanted so much more out of people. I've been so frustrated with someone. I have, like, I've, like, been in a situation where I've had to intervention them in a way or in one way or another, you know? But the entire time I'm just like, but I just don't want them to hate me, because I care about this person a lot. And, like, I can't bring myself to do this because I care about this person, and I don't know, I have such a need to be loved. I mean, I make YouTube videos like this partially because I have a need to be loved. And when people appreciate my videos, it makes me feel good, and it makes me feel comfortable. And that's, you know, something that's kind of embarrassing to admit, but I think it's vulnerable to say that I have a huge need for people to love me. Now, I also in turn get a lot of hate comments, It happens. I've done this for a long time. I can deal with it. I know what I can handle. It annoys me, but like not much I can do about it. But when I get like an outpouring of love, there's not much that feels better to me. But at the same time, I don't like to do things that make people hate me, you know? Like when someone says that they don't like something I did, and I'm like, and you have a point, you're right, and that I shouldn't have done that, that feels so horrible, you know? I feel like Uika just feels that so hard. Anyway, that first song they played, like, I love that song. I love that song. I hope that's on Spotify, because I'm going to add it to my Spotify playlist. I really loved it. It was exactly my sort of song. Uika's voice is so good. It was just great. I really loved it. The lyrics were great. Music was great. The chorus was great. All of the instruments. I loved having the acoustic guitar in it. It was great. Anyway, that's Ave Mujica, episode 10. Thank you for joining me. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.